Hello, guys, and welcome to UEFA Nations League Matchday 6, the games that are going to take place on Sunday. Everything is still to be decided, and we have Alvaro, Romeo, and Dani Fisichella with us to analyze these 4 games. Hello, guys.
Hello.
And of
Hello
course,
guys, good to see
comment the
you.
video with
From the
us.
dark, because it's very early from where we record, and that's why it's a
Exactly.
bit dark, it's a bit dingy.
But your tips
right.
are very bright, actually,
That's right.
because even if the
Right.
Nations League is very tricky, but you were correct in most of your predictions for these 2 groups that we are going to analyze with Netherlands, with Belgium. So, guys, remember, leave your comments, press the like, and subscribe. And now let's go on with the show. Group 1, everything is very fresh because we enjoyed some interesting games on Thursday, and we are recording this on Friday. The games, as I said, take place on Sunday. Group 1, everything to be decided. We have Croatia on top. Austria is the bottom, but everything can change in this match day. The first game we are going to analyze is Austria-Croatia. So Croatia, if they win, they are going to be in the semifinals. If Austria lose, they are going to be relegated. Dani, it was a bit boring, the game against Croatia-Denmark, especially the first half. At the end, Major scored the winner for Croatia. I think we have to praise what this generation of Croatian footballers are doing. Of course, this is not like arriving to the final of the World Cup in Russia, but still winning very important games, and they are just one step ahead of this semi-final. We have to remember, Dani, that Austria beat Croatia 0-3.
It's remarkable, Croatia keeping that level so high for already like 6-7 years. Yes, with an aging squad, but slowly putting up some youngsters, some interesting players. Major is mentioned, also Borna Sosa, who scored his first goal for the national team. And who needs a world-class striker when you can keep the ball so well with Perisic, Modric, Kovacic, Brozovic? They're always going to have the ball. They're always going to create chances, no doubt about it. Austria, they were simply outclassed by France. No chance for them, really, at the Parc des Princes. They should have lost the first half, but my tip was right, draw, but only because the keeper Pence made a couple of miracles. France hit the bar, a little bit of imprecision, but then in the second half they were clear, with Mbappe, with Giroud, with Griezmann, they play much better. No shots on target for Austria against France, so Magnan and Areola had no saves to make, and a very telling stats about how difficult it was for them. They had the first corner, Austria, in the 88th minute when the game was already done. So simply no chance for Rannick. And now they need a win to stay in Ligue A. I know they beat Croatia 3-0. They beat Croatia 3-0 in the reverse fixtures, but I don't know where they are. I see them really played off the park, and I think, of course, Croatia don't have the speed, the pace in attack to hit them, but they can keep the ball very, very well. Let's see how Austria does, but I can't see them really beating Croatia, who are eyeing the finals. In terms of tips here, I like the Croatia win 260, but if you want to be a little bit cautious, I see somebody's already suggesting in the comment Croatia as an handicap 0, so you must have checked Oddspedia because that's good odds. 186 for the Croatian not to lose the game. If they draw, you get your money back.
Okay, for you, Dani, the Croatia is a handicap 0 in the first half or in the full time?
In the first half, actually, yeah. In the first half, 186. In the full time, it pays a little bit less. Yeah, but good spot. Yeah, he's in the first half. But yeah, first half 0-0 or first half win for Croatia, for example.
We have the bad joke also recommended. This tip, of course, if there is a draw, you get your money back. Sofka is going for Croatia to win, as simple as that. 2.6 is good odds. Alvaro, if we go here for the favorite, if we just see the stats and if we just see the quality of the teams.
Yeah, well, I like the Asian handicap 0 in the game as well. In the full time, that pays 158. It could be some sort of a safe bet as well. Croatia means safety in a way. Apart from the sleep they had when they lost 3-0, against Austria. I mean, they've been really good in this Nations League, and they just have to match Denmark's outcome against France to be in the playoff, which is a remarkable achievement for them. Look, one thing that strikes me straight away when I see Croatian standings is the fact that they are topping the table, but they've got a goal difference of 0. Obviously, this is partially explained because they lost 3-0 against Austria, but there is much more than that. I mean, Croatia is a team that manages itself very well in short margins. Let me give you a couple of examples. For example, in the World Cup 2018, they had a -1 goal difference in the knockout stages. In 4 games, -1 goal difference in the knockout stages, and yet they reached the final. In Euro 2020, their goal difference was -1. After playing 4 games, after topping their group, they didn't lose to Spain for a heavy scoreline. It was 5-3 only. That tells you that this is a team that doesn't kill you. This is a team that suffers as well to get their wins, their victories. The last time they scored 2 goals before the game against Denmark the other day, it was against Malta 7 games ago, until Thursday. So, as I said before, they suffer to score many goals. Of course, they have the quality up front and even from the back, because the goals that they scored the other day against Denmark, they were beautiful. The first one from Sosa was a silky finish, and the second one was a great team effort when Mayer scored the winning goal. So they've got the quality up there, that's for sure. And then they got a player like Modric who played 93 minutes. I really don't know how he does it, really. He's 37, this guy. And Daniele has broken down what Austria is. They have to better France result to avoid relegation. One little mark about Arnautovic here. He became the joint most capped player in Austrian history with Andreas Herzog after playing his previous game. And the goalkeeper bench was very good, avoiding Tchouaméni and Griezmann shots. Some of them, they were almost a goal. The XG must have been like 100, and Tchouaméni was about to score a bicycle kick, but still, Pence did some heroics. For this game, I'm going to go for Asian handicap 0 for Croatia, yes, but also I like a combination of what I said. I think that Croatia is not going to drop the points. I think that Croatia is going to get at least 1. And at the same time, I believe that this game is going to be managed in short margins and short goals, not many. So I'm going to follow that logic that says that Croatia does better the shorter the scoreline. So a double chance for Croatia, 1x. It will be actually an X2 plus under 3 goals. Altogether, 180.
Okay, everything is very open in this group because Croatia and Denmark, they are fighting for the top spot, and France and Austria to avoid relegation. And France have a tough game in the Parken Stadium in Copenhagen. Denmark, usually they are very strong when they are playing at home, although they lost against Croatia as well there. Remember that Denmark was able to beat France in Saint-Denis, Alvaro, but when we analyzed this first round of fixtures in this new international break, we were saying that France was under pressure and the chance to arrive to the World Cup with a good hype after some very bad results. And as you were breaking down, they played really well with different players. The Shams moved a little bit the team. They had many injury concerns, some absentees. Now Koundé is also injured, but with some classic standing up like Griezmann or Mbappé, for instance, France got a very convincing victory finally.
Yes, they beat Austria 2-0. Mbappé and Giroud score. France is off the bottom, which is probably the most important in qualifying terms for them, and with a win they will avoid relegation. A few things about France: they played with 3 centre backs. They are the only side in this group playing with 3 centre backs, and Badiashile and Fofana debut for the team, and the goalkeepers rotated, one in each half. Then Mbappé scored a goal that was for me reminiscent of the Brazilian Ronaldo. Basically, Mbappé started his run, and the players started bouncing away from him. Even though they tried to stop him, they couldn't. Mbappé, by the way, has scored as many goals as Yuri Yorkaev now with the French national team. He's only 23 years old. Obviously, if he scored 23, 24 more, he will be the French all-time top scorer, and I have no doubt that he will be surpassing Thierry Henry. Since for this game, the players like Dembele or Camavinga played very little or didn't play at all, I expect more rotations by Didier Deschamps. I think that Dembele played less than 20 minutes, Camavinga didn't play. Some players will have a broader chance here in this game against Denmark, so this may affect a little bit the prediction here, because I think that it is very difficult to predict sometimes when a team does plenty of rotation. However, well, there are a couple of things that I like here. I think that Mbappe still will play or will start in this game, so Mbappe to score normally it pays around 183, and I think that this is good enough. This is good enough. And when it comes to Denmark, well, Denmark has to win. They have to better what Croatia does, but they don't depend on their own results to top the group. The goal of Eriksen against Croatia was beautiful, a screamer from a long range, but still, I think that France maybe will have the upper hand here. However, my bets are going to be the following. As I said before, I'm not going to commit to the full-time market because France is going to rotate and because Denmark at home can upset anyone. So Mbappe to score, as I said before, and maybe over 2.25 goals. I like this one. It pays quite a lot, actually, 190.
The bad joke, Dani, actually is suggesting over 2.5 goals, and this pays really good, 2.24. Under is only 1.78, and despite all the firepower that both teams have, the bookies don't expect many goals here.
It's because of the changes, I think, as Alvaro said. I mean, I think Deschamps already got his answers. He wanted a good performance before the World Cup, and he got it. So he's off the hook. The players are off the hook. There are a lot of young players. We mentioned in the previous video how many absentees from Kante to Benzema to Rabiot to Hernandez, both Hernandez actually being absent. So it's a young squad, and I think he's going to rotate. When it comes to Denmark, I was a little bit disappointed with the performance in Croatia because the first half was very slow, but Croatia had more the ball. And after they scored with Eriksen, they conceded straight away. They couldn't keep the ball, and then they didn't master a great chance to get back into the game. And, they got leapfrogged by Croatia. So I was expecting Denmark to keep it a little bit more tight at the back. And I wasn't convinced by the substitution of Braithwaite with Damsgaard. Then they put Højlund on. I don't know, made a few changes, but maybe again, okay, it's a long season and everyone deserves a little bit more minutes. I think Denmark at home normally don't lose. Also in the World Cup qualifiers, they had a very good record. In the Euros, when they played at home, they had a very good record. And I cannot think about them like losing the last game at home before the World Cup, especially when they got something at stage and France hasn't much. Now, it's about the scoring here, I think. Over 2.5 goals, maybe. But let's not forget, the defenses of these two teams are quite strong as well. I'm going to go for both to score, which probably covers all bases. It could be a 1-1, for example, but still could be a low-scoring game. But you will see in my ACCA, I'm leaning towards a full-time results here rather than another. But yeah, both time to score here to keep it cautious. It pays around 2.
Great performance, as you said, by Tchouaméni. What a player we are seeing growing both in the national team and also in Real Madrid. And he's very open. Also, the last group 4, although closer than the one we've analyzed, because Netherlands is almost in the semi-finals and Wales is almost relegated, but still we have to confirm it. And we have a great game in the Johan Cruyff Stadium. We have Netherlands, Belgium. We saw a 1-4 result when these two teams played not long time ago. Netherlands were able to thrash Belgium, and Netherlands, they continue with their great performances. It's not easy to win in Poland, to win in a full stadium. In Warsaw, they do it 0-2 without many problems. And if we check the odds for this game, Dani, is very attractive, this 3.15 to back Netherlands at home.
It's great. They need a point to qualify. So even if you go on the double chances market, the prices are very high because the initial odds are very high. The bookmakers obviously don't know how the game is going to go. It could go either way, of course. Could be completely open. But to talk about the Netherlands, 13 games unbeaten, only lost one of the last 22, 15 wins in the last 22, and they were dominant, convincing against Poland. 57% possession. They had all the chances. They didn't concede much to the Polish, and to keep a clean sheet against Lewandowski and Milik, I think is always a good sign for a back line like Netherlands. They only kept one clean sheet in the previous 6. So yeah, they were dominant, and also the manufacturers of the goals that they scored, they are very well crafted. They are very well built. Good team play, especially the second one from Bergwijn. Gakpo again in the score sheet. Van Gaal has got options, and it is an exciting team going forward. Probably the most informed team at the moment between the European ones going into the World Cup. Let's see how they do. In the second half, they had to substitute De Jong. They had to take off Depay as well. Maybe a bit of precautions, but they kept going. Let's see what kind of formation they master here. It could be open though. It could be open. Let's not forget Belgium is a slightly more experienced side here, and in this game, in this winner takes it all game, this could count. If you think about it, the players that they got, I think the Netherlands are a little bit raw in some elements. Some of them, maybe not all, but let's see. I think none of these team it's a clear favorite here. But if you look at the recent stats and you look at the form and also the way Belgium approached the game against Wales, a very professional display, and they were really good for 30 minutes, you can be almost sure they're going to be a lot of goals here. So you're going to go for an over 2.5 goals, which pays a lot, 205. I'm expecting the odds to go down here, to be fair. If you think about how much they've scored, this could be early odds. But yeah, if you take it around 205, 195, over 2.5 goals, I think there is very, very good value here.
And it's almost a safe bet, as the bad joke is suggesting both teams to score, and the odds are not bad. Actually, it's 1.86 because Belgium, they need to attack. They have to win by 3 goals at least margin to get the first spot. And Netherlands, they have a good firepower, Alvaro. So I guess we should expect goals here.
Yeah, bet as soon as possible, because maybe the odds are going down a little bit, but the bets for the odds for both teams to score are very good. This group, I have found it probably the easiest of all to bet in this Nations League, because it's a group with a massive disparity between the first two and the bottom two. And not only this is reflected in the points, but also in the goal differences. I mean, 7-4, -7, -4. It's been the easy group to bet on, and the favorites have delivered, the Netherlands and Belgium. And Netherlands have won the 80% of the games. Belgium has won the 60% of the points. That tells you that they have more or less been coherent with what the odds were saying about them. But sadly now they are playing against each other, so this is slightly more difficult. But goals obviously is something that has happened in the games between Netherlands and Belgium, and in the games in which Netherlands and Belgium were involved. I liked the goal from the Netherlands against Poland the other day. One of the goals was lovely. They gave 20 passes before scoring. It was a great team effort, but it was Memphis who actually gave some speed to that action. Unfortunately for the Netherlands, Memphis is injured and he's likely to miss the game against Belgium. And Frenkie de Jong is a doubt as well. So this is going to weaken a little bit the Netherlands. Barcelona was very unlucky, by the way, during this break, because Jules Koundé also picked an injury with the French national side. When it comes to the Belgians, well, they beat Wales the other day. Kevin De Bruyne was essentially the best player, and we have talked a lot about Erling Haaland this season, but Kevin De Bruyne is doing also as much as he can to keep Manchester City and Belgium in a very good place. The other day, for example, Kevin De Bruyne scored a goal, gave an assist, hit the post, and there was a penalty on him that the VAR cancelled afterwards.
It was never a penalty. It was never a penalty.
No, it wasn't a penalty, but he was the guy who was triggering the attacking action. Yeah, he was there. I mean, he's been basically in the photography, in the picture of every important action of the Belgian national side the other day against Wales.
It's remarkable for someone who said he was bored of playing Wales. I mean, didn't look bored.
Yeah, no, he didn't look bored at all. I'm sure that there was a player who wasn't bored at all. Seno Devast, the player from Anderlecht, he debuted at 18 with the Belgian national side, and who knows, maybe he plays this time as well. The truth is that he had not a dream debut because yes, his side won, but Moore beat him in the air in the equalizer. No, the consolation goal scored by Wales. Anyway, for this game, the goals market is very appealing for me. I love it. I mean, over 2.5 goals is fantastic. That pays 170, and I'm going for this market because Belgium has to win by 3 goals to qualify for the final four. So they will have to attack, obviously. So, and the Netherlands at home, they are going to score, that's for sure. And also, I like over 1.25 goals in the second half. 187 is not that risky, in my opinion. And if I have to go for the full-time market, I'm going to back the Netherlands to win 220. But I don't see the point anyway, because I think that the goals market is good enough.
Let's see if Kevin De Bruyne plays, for instance, that he was amazing. He was the best player on the pitch in the previous game. And the other game in this group is Wales-Poland. Wales need to win to avoid relegation. They played when they played in Poland. Poland won, but we have to take this important issue in consideration. Is because Wales were playing the playoff to go to the World Cup, so they didn't take seriously that game, and almost they got a point actually in that game. Wales and Poland, as Alvaro was saying, both are really poor in this group. There is a huge gap with Belgium and with the Netherlands. And perhaps, Alvaro, if the other one we expect goals, here we can see, or we can say the opposite, no? Perhaps we don't see many goals in Cardiff.
I'm gonna go for over 2 goals. It's not too
yeah.
risky. It's not too risky. 181, but let me explain why at least. Because I think that there is a reason for this. Number one, Gareth Bale is going to have some more playing time, and he means danger. I mean, even from free kicks, or set pieces. Gareth Bale the other day he played barely 24 minutes, so this time I expect him to play a little bit more. Then Poland was scoreless in the previous game, but Milic had a glorious chance against the Netherlands, but he sent the ball over the crossbar. If Lewandowski is playing, he can score in any time, especially against an opponent like Wales, which is lesser than the Netherlands. So just the quality of the forwards, even Moore in Wales, he's very good in the box, tell me that they can scrap a goal here or there. So I'm going to go for over 2 goals. That pays 181, and I like this one, even though I keep in mind that against Belgium, Wales had absences like Ben Davies, Aaron Ramsey, Joe Allen, Harry Wilson. Between the 4 of them, they go up to 260 caps. So yeah, Wales won't miss in experience for that game, and I am sure that the 4 of them won't be able to play this game. So yes, this is going to make Wales a lesser side. And then Poland, yes, they accepted with sportsmanship that the Netherlands were better. They have conceded in the last 5 games. That is why I'm going for the goal market again, because the Polish defense is a little bit leaky, and now Poland basically they have to make sure that they avoid defeat. If they avoid defeat, they are in the next Champions League A league, if Nations League. If not, they will be relegated. So it's interesting because Wales have to win, Poland has to avoid defeat, and the Polish defense is leaky. So that's why I'm going for the over 2 goals, 181.
It pays well, actually, Dani. Over 2.5 goals is 2.4.
Yeah, and you could expect that in a game where both have to have something at stake, especially Wales going to be attacking. I would expect Bale to start from the first minute. Wales need to win, and Wales are without a win in 4 games now, 1 defeat and 1 draw and 3 defeats. But it's all about the World Cup qualifier. In between, it was sandwiched in between the Nations League, and I think that screwed up the entire fixtures and the entire complexions between Wales and Poland. At the moment, I think Wales are a better team than Poland. They are more organized. When they got everyone fit, I think that they are a better team. Although on paper, the Polish players play for better teams domestically, but and across Europe, I don't think they are quite there as a team. Wales against Poland, against Belgium, they started well. They were organized. For the first 20 minutes, I thought, wow, they're gonna really stifle them. And actually, historically, Wales against Belgium always do well. That's probably why Kevin De Bruyne said he was bored to play them. They played them so many times in the last 3-4 years. I think like 12 times between Nations League and qualifiers. But then, the Belgian quality came out. They had 35 minutes when they were unplayable. And in the second half, Wales were better. They show more fighting spirit. They show that cohesiveness, that team spirit that we always praise when we say, okay, they don't have perhaps the star players if you take out Ramsey, Davis, Bale, but they are very well organized. Everyone knows what they're doing. So I think the second half is going to be encouraging for Robert Page, because now they're going to bring it at home to Cardiff, where they do normally very well in qualifiers. They qualified obviously for the World Cup, the last Nations League they won it, the League B, based on home form. And Robert Page has already said that they will treat this as like a final. Again, last game before going to the World Cup in front of your home crowd. You don't want to get beaten, and I don't think they're going to get beaten. They're going to concede chances, possibly, because if you do remember the playoff final against Ukraine had loads of chances. Hennessy was the man of the match. He only finished 1-0. Was not a true reflection how the game went. But they were both going for the win. Here, Poland could be content with a draw as well. So let's take that into account. I can see the Asian handicap market very interesting here. Before I checked, Asian handicap plus 0.25 for Wales paid. The best odds I could find on Oddspedia were 191. I think these are gonna go down likely. I think the advantage is for Wales, but this means that if Wales draw, you win half your stake. If they win, of course, you do win. And at the end of the day, the draw could be a likely outcome when Poland just needs a point here.
For the FIFA rankings, that now we can check also that in Oddspedia, Wales is ahead, by the way. They are 19 in the FIFA rankings. Poland is the 26 in that standing. I know Dani loves FIFA rankings and this stuff when we are analyzing the teams.
Yeah, well, it's always something you can refer to, but it's not
Exactly.
the Bible. It's not the Bible, obviously.
You can check now. We have it in. If you check the game,
but it is important. It is important because that tells you where are you going to set in the qualifiers, and the Champions League coefficient is super important to the point that Interwiz, they had a proper coefficient to be second in the group in the Champions League and not third, because that's why they're playing against Barcelona. So these things are not minimal.
I agree with you, especially for the World Cup qualifiers. Because for the Euro qualifiers, let's face it, it's easy to qualify for the Euros unless you screw it up. But for the World Cup qualifiers, and I know it very well, it could be tough.
We have this info. The bad joke is asking you guys, how do you feel both teams to score for this game?
I feel more yes than no. As I said before, Wales have to beat Poland to stay in the A-League. So I think that they are going to score. And then Poland, they've got plenty of attacking talent as well. If they've got something, is that. So both teams to score is a logical one for me. But I went for something slightly more conservative, like over 2 goals, because I'm happy with making 181.
I think it's the same for me. I think the stat says Poland have scored in 8 of the last 10 games. So against Netherlands, they didn't score because Netherlands kept the ball very well. Can Wales do the same? Not sure.
2.15 both teams to score. Actually, in last games for Wales, we usually see both teams to score. It's more likely in the last 5 games, at least 100% of the last 5 games of Wales saw both teams to score, and 60% for Poland. These are stats that I'm reading in Wikipedia, by the way. So, guys, this is it. Let's go with your safe bet, Alvaro.
My safe bet could be Netherlands, Belgium over 2 goals, 155. It's quite safe.
Turkey is playing in the Faroe Island, by the way. I'm checking.
Bloody hell with Turkey. Shakir, the goalkeeper, he made mistakes, and they almost lost to Luxembourg. It was a 3-all, and Mayaka was not there, thanks to Soyuncu as well, who was so terrible. I don't know if he picked an injury or anything, but he was subbed in the halftime as well. He was terrible in the game, always late for the challenge.
Dani, your safe bet?
Croatia are not going to lose in Austria. So X2, double chance, 148.
We have Andorra, Latvia. We have Moldova, Liechtenstein. We have Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan.
Careful with Moldova. Moldova are going to win the group. Moldova, they might be in the Euros. They're going to win the group. Careful.
With Sheriff Tiraspol players.
Well, maybe they're all foreigners in Sheriff Tiraspol anyway.
And Dani, your ACCA?
3 games. Croatia has an handicap plus 0.25. Denmark, France, double chance, 1x. Netherlands, Belgium, both team to score, 186. You can see it here. So Croatia has an handicap plus 0.25, 1x between Denmark and France, and Netherlands, Belgium, both team to score. Total odds 542.
All right. By the way, Gerard Piqué has to be very happy because Andorra won the other day as well, 0-2, and Piqué owns the Andorra team, by the way, not the national team, but the club that they are playing right now in the Spanish second division. And Alvaro, your ACCA?
Very quickly, what about Kazakhstan as well? They got 13 points. They are in the next level, by the way. This is pretty impressive. They are going to go up to the B League. I mean, totally out of the blue. But anyway, my ACCA here. Netherlands, Belgium, over 2 goals. Denmark, France, over 1.75 goals. Asian handicap plus 0.25 for Croatia. Slovakia to beat Belarus. Altogether, 478. If you want to top it up a little bit, just adjust and increase the amount of goals in the Netherlands, Belgium, because I am pretty certain this is going to happen. So even I will go for over 3 goals in that game.
Slovakia only 6 points. Actually, they are the third in the.
Yeah, but they are playing against Belarus at home.
Only 2
I think
points
that
for Belarus.
they are better. They are better. Yeah.
Only 2 points. Well, this is it.
I'm already thinking about Kazakhstan, England in the next Nations League. You love it. They love it. They love it.
Well, Kazakhstan, they are going to be
League B,
promoted
England might go down, you know. Wow.
to League B. Yeah, if some of them. It's an easy trip, and close trip to Western
I'm sure the English press will love it. Will just love it.
They will love it. Yeah.
You know what they are.
Plane.
You know. Anyway, all right. Good luck.
Well, good luck for everyone following your tips and following the Nations League. Thank you, guys. And don't forget to leave your comments and like us if you actually like us, and subscribe. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.